Hi guys, this is Paige, and instead of doing it in my mailbox or a TBR or a wrap-up, I'm here to show you guys a bookshelf tour. And I'm doing this because I haven't done one at all, ever. This is the first time I've done one since, oh, I just said that, never. I meant to say since I started blogging. And as you can see, my bookshelf has gotten a lot of books because it was never that big before. And so I'm going to start with the books that were up there in that corner. You can see it's kind of empty because I couldn't reach because my desk is in the way. So I just pulled them down and I'm going to show them to you like this on my desk. And then I'm going to go back up there and show you the rest of that shelf. And that shelf is mostly adult or non-young adult. The rest, I think I'm going to start with that shelf because it's not young adult. And every other shelf is young adult. So that's why I started with this one. And I think I'm going to split them up between all the ones that aren't young adult and the ones that are, but I'm not sure yet. It depends on how long the videos are. So let's get started. First book is The Restless Dead, the original stories of the supernatural. And there's a bunch of authors. There's, some that I'm familiar with, Holly Black, Libba Bray, and that's the only ones that I'm familiar with. But I got this for Christmas, and I still haven't read it, but I hope to soon because it looks really good. The next is, I won a while back, The Night Season by Chelsea Cain. And it's also, I'm pretty sure it's horror. Serial killer fiction, it says on the top. I haven't heard much about it, but it looks pretty good. And I'm glad to have it. The Restless Dead by Hugh B. Cave. This is a book that I got in a box at a yard sale. I got like a box of like literally 30 to 40 books, and they were all romance and a few horror. You'll see the horror. Most of them are up on my shelf still because those are the ones that I could reach. But the romance went to my grandma because I'm not a big romance fan. I haven't really tried them, but I don't plan on trying them anytime soon. But I kept the horror because I love horror. Next, this also came in that box, House of Horror by Hans Holzer. And I kept this because, first, it's horror, and second of all, I love the cover. It's purple, and it's spooky, and those two mix because I love purple and I love spooky. So, yeah. Next book I got for Christmas from my aunt. The other book, the first book that I showed you was from my aunt too that I got for Christmas. It's Hannibal Rising by Thomas Harris. I didn't realize this was a series, or she didn't realize it was a series. It's the series The Silence of the Lambs, so I have to get the first one so I can read this one, because this is, I believe, the fourth, yeah, because it's Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs, and then Red Dragon. I don't know, I'll have to look it up online, because I didn't look to see if it was the first or the fourth or whatever. I could have sworn she told me it was the fourth, but I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. Next is 100 Ghastly Ghost Stories by Stephen something I can't pronounce, Robert H. Weinberg and Martin H. Greenberg. It's about ghosts, and I haven't started this yet, but I hope to soon because it looks interesting and I like ghost stories. The next few are Stephen King. Well, not the next few, the first one and then the two after that. Stephen King, Hearts in Atlantis. I got this at a yard sale, and it's an old library book, as you can see, because it has the protector on it. And to tell you the truth, I am excited to have a few Stephen King books because I've never read Stephen King before. Haven't read one thing. I've seen movies and stuff, but I have never read anything by him. The next is Just After Sunset, Stephen King, and this is short stories. I didn't realize that at first, but now I know that it's just short stories. It's a pretty big book, though. And then the last Stephen King book that I have is freaking huge. It's Insomnia. I can't even. Stephen King. It's huge. So yeah, and then the last book up there from the ones that I couldn't reach is True Ghost Stories by Hans Holzer. And I have the purple one up there that I showed you before is by Hans Holzer, and I didn't even realize. Did not even realize. But anyways, let's go back up to the shelf. Hold on. So I can show you what else I have up here. I have Darkfall by Dean Koontz, and I've heard so many good things about him, but I haven't read anything by him, which is why I kept these. Because at first I was a little hesitant to keep anything by him, but I decided I would because I've heard so many good things about him. Demon Seed by Dean Koontz. Looks old, which is why I was hesitant to keep this one too, but I'm gonna keep it. And then Night Chills by Dean Koontz. Those are all my Dean Koontz, because I think I have quite a little bit more, but I don't know where they are at the moment. And then I have The First Council by Brad Meltzer. Now these, they're all mixed up. I just have them in alphabetical order. And they're not all horror, but most of them are. And then they're like, there's mystery, and then there's like true crime, and then there's like my wrestling books that I have. I'll show you when I get to them, and you'll see what I mean. So I don't know if this one fits in horror, but you know, it fits in something. It's adult, it's not young adult, that's why it's up here. The next is Don't Close Your Eyes by Robert Ross. And I haven't heard anything about this, but it's of course horror, so I kept it. I'm just letting you know right now that I probably haven't read half of these books. Not even half, I probably haven't read any of these books up here at all. And I'll tell you if I have. This one is Secret Life of a Vampire by Carolyn Sparks. This is a part of the series. I have the 6th and the 7th book. I think this is the 6th. And I didn't plan on reading it because it's I think it's part romance, but since it said vampire on the cover, I kept it, and I'm going to try to get the first book in the series and see if I like it at all. And then the book that comes after that is Forbidden Nightmares with a Vampire by Carolyn Sparks. So yeah. The next I got is Vampire Stories from the South, but it's compiled by Lawrence Schimmel and Martin H. Greenberg. He was on one of the books that I showed you a few minutes ago. And I started reading this, and it's kind of interesting, but I kind of put it down because it wasn't catching my, it wasn't really pulling me in, but I'm going to give it a try again because it looks really good. The next is Don't Close Your Eyes by Carleen Thompson. I think it's pretty funny because I have another Don't Close Your Eyes, and they're almost the same, but they're not. I don't know why. The next is The Sorority Eve by Tamara Throne, and this is really good. I read this when I first got the box because it's really small. And I can't wait to get the second book in the series because it was really, really good. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I really did. The next I got from my grandpa a while back, which I think I'm probably going to give it to the used bookstore because I don't think I'm ever going to read this, and it's Without a Doubt, Marcia Clark. And it's about the O.J. Simpson case. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to read this. I think it doesn't even interest me at all. I put it on my bookshelf just to please him, and I think I'm just going to throw it at the used bookstore. So yeah. Next book is Silent Witness, The Untold Story of Terry Scavo's Death by Mark Furman. I've had this one for so long, and I've been wanting to read it for so long, and I'm seriously going to because it sounds so good. My mom started reading it, and she got that far, and she stopped because she's heard the story before, and she didn't want it. She doesn't like to read books that she's heard the story before, so she stopped and she gave it back to me. Anyway, if you can hear that weird noise in the background, it's my brother, because his room is right next to mine, and he's playing video games right now, so you know. The next is Against All Hope by the Prison Memoirs of Armando Valladares. It's by Andrew Hurley. My grandpa gave me this one. And it's not something I would read. I mean, I don't think I would read. I'll try it out, but I don't know. I just put it on my bookshelf to please him, you know. The next is Girl in the Cellar, the Natasha Kampusch story by Alan Hall and Michael Ledig. This is a true story, and I read this, and it was really, really good. It's about a girl who gets trapped in the cellar. She gets kidnapped, and her kidnapper, makes her a big room. He wants, it's kind of like he wants a daughter, but he obviously doesn't go about it the right way, because he kidnaps a little girl. And he makes her this really nice room in the cellar, and he just keeps her in the cellar. And obviously, it's obviously not nice because she's kidnapped, but you know. And she gets out, and then it's about a story about her life before and after. So it was really good. I liked it. The next is Sense of Evil by Kay Hooper. No clue what this is about. We found this book in the house when we moved here, and it looks good, so I kept it. The next two books are the same. They just are different. I think one's UK. I think this is the UK one. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Stieg Larsson. I think this is the UK one, and then this is the US one.